Barack Obama was at the University of Illinois giving a speech. Now, there are portions of this speech that are being really focused on by the mainstream press, like a comment he made where he actually mentions Trump by name, which is something I guess he hasn't done for a while. So I guess that's kind of news, but that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about is what I think is an actual piece of news that came out of this speech, and it's in this next clip. So listen to what Obama appears to come out in support of.
So Democrats aren't just running on good old ideas like a higher minimum wage. They're running on good new ideas like Medicare for All, giving workers seats on corporate boards, reversing the most egregious corporate tax cuts to make sure college students graduate debt-free. We know that climate change isn't just coming, it is here. So Democrats aren't just running on good old ideas like increasing gas mileage in our cars, which I did and which Republicans are trying to reverse, but on good new ideas like putting a price on carbon pollution.
Okay, so Obama appears to come out in support of putting a price on carbon, giving workers seats on corporate boards, which is part of Elizabeth Warren's new bill, and Medicare for All, which is Bernie's bill. Now, he calls these new ideas, they're not new ideas. I think what he means by that is they're ideas that were not adopted by the Democratic Party before. But now that Obama has hopped on board, especially with something like Medicare for All, which is getting a lot of attention, this now is a clear sign that there is a real shift in the Democratic Party establishment to actually being open to supporting Medicare for All. So another example of this potential shift is a video I did on a segment that was on AM Joy on MSNBC over the weekend, where Joy Reid, who is known very well for pushing back against progressive policy and against progressive candidates like Bernie Sanders, had an entire panel where essentially they talked about how Medicare for All and a living wage is just now moderate policy. It's mainstream policy, which was really weird to hear from MSNBC after 2 years of pushing back on Bernie Sanders' policies and calling them all pie in the sky and crazy. But now there appears to be a clear shift towards policies like Medicare for All. Now, we can all speculate as to why, but ultimately, I don't care why. If they're actually supporting Medicare for All, and they appear to be, and they're pushing it forward in their in campaigning, then that's all I care about. So this is a step in the right direction. Now, for those that will say it doesn't matter what Obama supports, it's Barack Obama. Who cares? He should have pushed Medicare for All while he was president. I agree with that, but at the same time, it does matter what Obama supports. So Zach Carter, who is the senior HuffPost reporter, he tweeted out exactly why this matters. Can't overstate how much Obama's voice matters here. So many Democratic Party fights that seem to be about ideology and policy are really about loyalty factions and personnel. The entire DNC fight in 2016, for instance, was about whether Obama people would maintain control of the party infrastructure. Literally all of the policy disputes were meaningless. Team Obama took on the rest of the Democratic establishment and the left, and won. So that's exactly right. These fights in the Democratic Party are often simply about who has the power, which person's team holds the power. So while a lot of us here, while actual people care about policy, like pushing Medicare for All or pushing a living wage, the party structure simply cares about, do their friends have a job? Do the people they work with, can they still work with them? Who has the power in the party? Who's going to make the most money here, or who is going to make the money here? And will that continue for us? That's what they care about. So when someone like Obama comes out, who is a powerful force in the Democratic Party establishment, and now appears to openly support a policy like Medicare for All, that gives the green light for his people in the party to then also support Medicare for All, which potentially means someone like Tom Perez, who Obama was instrumental in getting Tom Perez as the head of the DNC. If Obama is openly supporting Medicare for All, it's very possible that Tom Perez and the rest of the DNC will now openly support Medicare for All. So this does signify a real shift. Now, again, people, I see this online all the time. People get caught up in personalities or in history. How, oh, but they weren't supporting this before. Why should I listen to them now? Look, I'm not saying you should listen to them. I'm saying that these people that have the power still have a lot of the power. If they are supporting a policy that you support, that is only a good thing. If you still want to push back on the other crap that they're trying to push on you, or trying to push back on their hold onto power, whether it's on through fossil fuel money, or whether it's through big pharma, or through whatever it is, whatever issues you have with the Democratic Party establishment, you can still have those issues and push back on those issues. But understand that when a major player in the party establishment like Obama comes out and supports Medicare for All, that is only good for the rest of the country. That means that it is much more likely now that the Democratic Party as a whole will support Medicare for All moving forward. So that's all I'm saying. Now, ultimately, look, I don't care what Obama supports. I think a lot of people on the left now really don't care what Obama supports. They saw somebody who ran as a progressive in 2008. Then once he got in, he just continued to capitulate to the right wing. He always came to the table with the compromise, didn't fight for actual progressive policy. We all get that. But the actual party structure, the people that have the power, they don't care either way. All they care about is what's our next move? What should we support now? And if they hear Obama supporting Medicare for All, then it's very likely that the party will adopt Medicare for All. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button below and consider becoming a patron at therationalnational.com/join. You get some extra content, but also, most importantly, you help support me in continuing to produce these sorts of videos.